2004, he started working as an associate with architect Shirish Berry. In 2004, he formed Synthesis Design Workplace, a partnership firm with architect Sikandar Nadaf. Synthesis is mainly involved in designing institutional campuses, public residential buildings, and majorly healthcare facilities. He has keen interest in nature, traditional and vernacular architecture. His eco-friendly house, Paschima, was awarded Green Residence Award by the Indian Institute of Architects. He likes to make short films, documentaries. His two documentaries were awarded first and second prizes by the Environmental Ministry, Maharashtra government, and NPCB. Most of them were screened in various film festivals, including Vasundhara, right? And his works have been published in various national magazines. He has conducted workshops and delivered presentations in various institutes in India and abroad. He has also given talk in Tamkung University, Taiwan, and GAFA, China. His passion is sketching, painting, writing, and traveling. So he is a multifaceted personality, and to tell you the fact, he is not only the jack of all trades, but he is the master of all trades. A very warm welcome once again, Milind, and I hand it over to you. And he has designed many hospitals, and as I've already discussed with you, we have given this project. We are working on a very different philosophy in this school, and we have given the same project to 3 years with the defined scope for all 3 years. I thought there is no better person than you who could address this design thinking process for hospitals, and thank you for accepting my request and being here today. So over to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Gauri, and thank you, Symbiosis team. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Is it okay? The sound is audible? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's audible. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. As just Gauri said, that we will have a presentation on hospital designing, and how I will do it. First, I will show you the general design guidelines, general design methodology for the hospital, and then I can explain thoroughly with one case study, which the hospital which I did in Goa, and so that it will be easy for you to understand the functional coordination, circulation, and the various aspects in hospital designing. So, okay, so can I start now?
Yeah, you can share the screen and you can start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you can make it full screen in PowerPoint presentation mode so that it will be. I think there's some problem at its side. I think he got logged off, so he may join in again.
Hello, can you hear? Can you hear me? I can't.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. Can you see now the screen?
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. Yeah. So this is about hospital designing, and there are various types of hospitals. Like first, when during childhood we go to the clinic, and then after that comes the nursing home, then general hospitals, then multi-specialty hospital,
Sir,
then
sorry
super
to
specialty hospital.
interrupt you. Can you please make this full screen?
Okay, can you hear now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yeah. So there are various types of hospitals like clinic, nursing homes, general hospitals, multi-specialty hospitals, super specialty hospitals. So we are not talking about the multi-specialty hospitals, and I will show you the different functions, the different departments, and how they are related, how they are coordinated with each other, and the uh, circulation patterns. See, in hospital there are so many departments, but if you generalize, so these are the few things which you need to understand. There's a Whenever you go to the hospital, you arrive in a lobby, right? You arrive in a lobby where all the registration happens and where all the information from the patient is taken. There are nurses, there are sometimes doctors also. They will ask the history, and they will make the case paper, and they will register you, and you need to pay some amount, like initial amount. In the arrival lobby, the pharmacy has to be there, so that when a requirement of medicine, uh, so that medicine can be purchased from the pharmacy. So that all those things should be connected with the arrival lobby. Sometimes cafe is also connected depending upon the size of the hospital. Then another department is casualty and emergency. So whenever the patient who is very serious, who is in emergent services required, so the ambulance has to come there, and ambulance need to have separate access, separate independent access to this department. So because every second is very important, so that facility should be as near to the main road, or from the hospital premises gate. And I will explain you in detail later, but these are the departments I will just hello. Can you hear?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, then the patient comes to the outpatient department where the doctor sits, and doctor will examine the patient and
Sir,
accordingly guide. Yeah.
sir, you have to share your screen again. The screen
Oh,
name
oh.
is that. Yes.
Okay, okay. Hello,
Yes, sir. Sir, screen
can
नहीं
you
share होता है. हाँ,
can
हाँ,
you see now?
हाँ, yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Yes. So the patient will go to the OPD, and doctor will diagnose the patient, and doctor will guide the patient to go to the various departments which is required for the treatment of the patient. Then there comes the radiology and diagnostics department, where the facilities like X-ray, sonography, blood collection, CT scan, MRI, mammography, all those things will happen here. So as per doctor's suggestion, the patient will go and do the things and again take the reports and show to the doctor. Then there is one more department like physiotherapy. Sometimes what happens for the ortho patients, the physiotherapy is required. So as per the doctor's advice, the physiotherapist will guide the patient in physiotherapy department and take different exercise as per prescribed by the doctors. And these departments can have a physiotherapy, dialysis, neuro rehabilitation, depending upon the specialty which that hospital has. Uh, because for physiotherapy, dialysis, sometimes the patient may come from outside, not necessarily the same patient from that hospital needs to take the treatment. So sometimes the patients which are referred by the other doctors, they will come to this department and have the treatment. Then comes the canteen, coffee shop, etc. Then this is like one area which is we should be near to the arrival lobby, near to the entrance of the hospital. Then there comes the another area which is very important. That includes operation theaters. That includes operation theater complex, ICU, OBGYN labor, IVF department. This is basically related with the female patients, and the central sterile and store department like CSSD, where all the equipments in the hospital they will be cleaned, they will be sterilized and supplied to various departments. Right. Then the third area is where the patient actually stays. That is inpatient department and daycare department. Daycare is required for certain kind of treatments like cataract surgery, sometimes angiography, angioplasty. So where the patients need not to stay overnight, but will be discharged in 8 hours, 10 hours. So for that daycare facility is required. And in inpatient departments, there comes the ward, ICUs, then various types of rooms and suites. So where the patient need to be stayed there for longer time, and he will opt for the option like room wards, and depending upon his financial condition, and go into that department. Sometimes many big hospitals they supply the food. They supply the food to the patients, and that food is generally planned by the dietitian. And so dietitian give the prescription to the kitchen, and then kitchen servants, kitchen cook, they will prepare the food, and accordingly that food will be packed and supplied to the patient, because the dietitian has certain reservations for certain patients. So this is a very big department. Generally, big hospitals have this central kitchen system. Then central store and records. Records is medical records. MRD उसको बोलते हैं, medical records department. And but that is very essential because you need to store the patient's record at least for 10 years. So that is a mandatory by law, and so that department is very important. Yeah. Then there comes the engineering services. Engineering services is like the diesel generators, electrical panel rooms, air conditioning facilities, fire pumps, underground tanks. All those things will come in engineering services. Even the medical gases manifold. So all those things will fall into engineering services department. So this is a rough overall idea. What are the areas generally the multi-specialty hospitals have? I will go to the next slide. So how is the flow and how the departments are connected with each other, right? So generally the two entries are very important. Two access points are very important. One will lead to the arrival lobby and another will lead to the casualty emergency department. And they both should be separated because as per law and as per NIH guidelines, the casualty emergency department should have different access. So whenever emergency come, where sometimes patient have heart attacks, sometimes have traumas, and sometimes accidents may happen. So where every second is important. So this access should be barrier free and very easy, so that the patient can be immediately transferred from the ambulance and transferred to the casualty department. In casualty, once the emergency patient arrives, the important thing for the patient is to उसकी जान बचाना है पहले. So उसके लिए वो triage department है. So in triage department there are all the equipments which are necessary to save his life. They are present in triage. Even the medical gases, oxygen, all those things are there. So उसको पहला उसकी पहले जान बचाना है. So once the patient gets stabilized, he'll be transferred to the observation area for certain time and depending upon his emergency. Generally, what we see and what we know, never the emergency patient transferred directly to the ICU or the OT. He first will be brought to the casualty, he will be stabilized, will be medicated, and then once he gets stabilized, then he will be transferred to various areas. So sometimes when the accident case, so patients unless and until doctor knows what treatment is required. So for that, the patient needs to be transferred to the radiology diagnostic departments. So in radiology diagnostic departments, there is an X-ray facility, CT scan facility, MRI facility. So as per the patient's requirement, the diagnosis will happen there, the scanning will happen there, and based on those reports, the doctor from the casualty, from the emergency department, he will decide what is the next to be done. So that's why the casualty department and this diagnostic department should be very close to each other, so that they will not waste their time. Similarly, when the new patient comes to the like not emergency patient, but the other patients, they will arrive in the arrival lobby where the registration of the patient will happen, and all the history of the patient will be noted down, and accordingly the patient will be sent to the OPD, outpatient department. So OPD में भी जब डॉक्टर उसको चेक करेगा, उसकी सब हिस्ट्री समझेगा, then he will say कि no, go have a X-ray. Suppose अगर ऑर्थो का पेशेंट है, उसको कुछ फ्रैक्चर हुआ है या तो उसका कुछ डिफॉर्मेशंस है, so the doctor will guide, go to the diagnostic department, have a X-ray and get the report and show to me. So OPD is also necessarily connected, very easily connected to the radiology and diagnostic department. So once the patient gets the reports, he will show the doctor, then doctor will decide what to do. Sometimes if operation is required, then patient will be transferred to the inpatient departments, to the either to the ward or to the room, and he will stay there for a certain time. And when proper time arrives and as per the schedule of the doctors and this operation theater department, so the surgery will happen. So this is how the general area. So in radiology diagnostic departments, you see there is a pathology lab, there is MRI, CT, X-ray. These are the few areas, but there are again, if you go into detail, there are so many other areas also like DEXA scan and mammography. So which depends, which is required for certain types of patients. So these are the general areas. There is sonography also, USG, ultra sonography. And in OPD room, OPD department, you can see the consulting rooms, nursing counters, and treatment rooms. So all those things will fall there. In casualty department, there is one minor operation theater also. Minor operation theater is also there. So sometimes patient अगर थोड़ा डर्टी है उसको क्लीन करना है स्टेबलाइज होने के बाद तो वो वहाँ पे कर दिया जाता है and some small things like dressing and like उसको क्लीनिंग वगैरह जो भी है स्टिचिंग वगैरह तो वो माइनर माइनर ओटी में हो जाता है. That I will explain in another hospital design which I will do. Okay, so I will go to the next slide. This is the overall structure of the hospital. In hospital designing, the operation theater complex is the most critical part to design because it has to follow certain circulation pattern, certain movement area, and the segregation of the staff, segregation of the doctors, segregation of the relatives, patients. Because nobody should cross each other, so those movement patterns are very important. So I will just explain you how this works, how this happens. Right now, this is the other part of the hospital, right, and which is connected by the common passage. Say for example, once the patient who is in the ward or in the room, he will be transferred here in this corridor, and then he will be transferred to the preoperative lobby, which is here. The preoperative lobby is like the patient will be brought before operation for a few hours because he needs to be stabilized. He needs to be comfortable. And many times what happens कि उसका जो preparation रहेगा, so based on the type of surgery, अगर कुछ हेड का इंजुरी है, हेड का सर्जरी करना है तो उसका वहाँ पे जो शेविंग करना पड़ेगा, बाल निकालने पड़ेंगे, तो वहाँ पे ये सब जो प्रिपरेशन होगा वो यहाँ पे होता है. पर अभी every hospital has a different working style. Sometimes it happens in the room, sometimes it happens in the treatment rooms, or sometimes it happens in the preoperative area. So यहाँ पे patient लेके आने के बाद the doctor will examine, he will give few injections, he will give few salines, and because certain operations they require those kind of pre-operative treatments, and उसका वो भी चेक करना होता है कि उसको कुछ एलर्जी आ रही है क्या. तो अगर पेशेंट वो पूरा तरह से स्टेबलाइज है, then only he will be transferred to the operation theater. In preoperative area, sometimes the anesthesia is also given to the patient, and then a patient will be transferred either by the bed or by the stretcher to the operation theater. So this is one of the important area. In preoperative area, there are sometimes toilets also because patient अगर थोड़ा सा मतलब कॉन्शियस हो जाता है तो उसको रेस्टरूम वॉशरूम फैसिलिटीज भी यहाँ पे देना जरूरी है. Once the patient is prepared for the operation, then patient will be transferred to this corridor, which is called sterile corridor. Here there are cut-off lobbies in between, and these are operated by the doors, and patient will be transferred through this cut-off lobby to this sterile corridor. Sterile corridor is a corridor where the sterility is at higher level. means the contamination and there's a bacteria free area, you can say. It's very clean area, and that atmosphere is achieved by air conditioning and different filters. So so this is that sterile corridor, and then patient will be transferred to the operation room. Sometimes in multi-specialty hospitals there are different surgeries happen at the same time. So sometimes there are 2 operation theaters, 3, sometimes 8 operation theaters also, based on the type of the hospital. Then patient will be transferred to the operation room, and once the operation, during the operation, okay, yeah, okay. So this is the moment of the patient. Then I need to explain you how the staff and the doctors come to this area, right? So doctors and staff, they will come like this. Again, this is semi-sterile area. From semi-sterile area, the doctor will go here in this change room. Doctors will change their clothes, put the sterile clothes. Sometimes air wash is also given here in this area. They leave their shoes, everything, whatever they have, and they use slippers, and they wear those costumes, and they will go to the sterile corridor. So once this is a linear way, and this is a one-way, like a one-way traffic. Because once the doctor change, once the staff get changed for the operations, then they are not allowed to again come back in this area. So this is how the circulation happens. They will change here and they will go to the sterile corridor. Again, the same thing for the female doctors, same thing for the male staff, same thing for the female staff. Sometimes the washrooms are given to these. Washrooms are required for the staff and for the doctors also, and then they directly enter to this sterile corridor. So the patient will come from here, this preoperative area, and all the staff and the doctors, they will come to this sterile corridor, and they will go to the respective operation theater. Operation jab operation may last for 2 hours, 3 hours, depending upon the type of operation. So during the process, after the operation finishes, sometimes the instruments which are used for the operation, linen which is used for the operation, and the sometimes जो body parts sometimes निकाल लेते हैं during the operation, so that those all those things which are used, which are waste, they are not brought back to the sterile corridor. They will go to the dirty corridor or service corridor, which is here, which is last. So यहाँ पे एक pass box window रहेगा. Pass box window is a kind of mechanism where which is like a box with ultraviolet lamp, and which has 2 doors. So one door which will open into the operation room, and another door will open to the service corridor. The staff which will maintain this dirty corridor and service corridor will not enter in this zone. He will come from the another area. The staff which will take care of this area are different. So the pass box में वो पूरा रख देंगे यहाँ का दरवाजा खोल के, and unless you close this side door, it will not open the other side door. So that अगर बाहर का जो air का contamination है, that should not enter to the operation room. And the attendant from here, he will collect all those things from the pass box, and depending upon the waste disposal, or sometimes the instruments and the linen which will be washed here, and then will be transferred to the CSSD for reuse, to sterile them. So this is how the circulation happens. Once the operation finishes, the patient will be brought back to the corridor, sterile corridor, and he will be transferred to either to the recovery area or to the ICU directly. So this is how the patient movement is like, from operation theater, sterile corridor, and will be transferred to the recovery or ICU. Many times what happens कि the main surgeon who is doing the operation, उसका बहुत कम काम रहता है. समझो ऑपरेशन एक कुछ like bypass surgery चल रहा है which will long for 4-5 hours, but the main surgeons का जो काम है वो सिर्फ 15 या 20 minutes का रहता है, maximum आधा घंटा रहता है. तो what will do, he will the assistant doctors will do all those things, cutting and opening, and the main surgeon will come. He will do the necessary treatment, necessary whatever required for the patient, and he will again go back and will 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 rest for some time. So sometimes doctor lounge is given here, so he will go there and he will rest. और दूसरा एक क्या चीज रहता है कि एनेस्थेटिक जो रहता है, he has to stay there for the whole operation, right? Once the anesthesia is given, from that time to till the operation gets finished, so he has to stay in that zone. So again, he after his work finished, he will go to the doctor's line and he will stay there. So this is how the circulation happens. And before they go for the operation, the staff and the doctor, they has to wash their hands. The area where they wash their hands is called scrub. And you once you enter here, you are not allowed to touch anything, right? So even the taps which are here for the scrub, they are automatic operated, they are sensor operated or sometimes foot operated. And even the doors which are for the operation theaters, they are automatic sliding shutters. So when you go there, just put the hand little away from the door and the door will open. So this is the system generally good operation theaters they follow. For the operation theaters, every operation theater need one HU, that is air handling unit, because certain type of air filtration is required. So all those services can be placed here in HU spaces because they need a good space. So every operation room will require one HU space. The air is filtered here with different types of filters like HEPA filters, and then the clean air, the sterile, it will be made sterile and it will be thrown to the operation theater. So this is one area which I talked about. For the labor patients, for the female patients, the circulation is different, but it has to connected with the main operation theater complex also. So when there is a delivery case, a baby delivery case, so the patient will be brought here, and the female patient will be transferred to the pre-labor area. Just when the patient starts giving pain, so यहाँ पे उसको लेके आ जाता है, and the patient will be stabilized. She will stay here for few hours, few minutes, depending upon the case. And this area also needs to have a washroom facility. So once that time comes, the patient will be transferred to the pre-labor to the semi-sterile area. And from semi-sterile area, the patient will be transferred to the labor room. Labor room is the room where actual baby birth happens. So all those things will happen here. And once the delivery finished, the patient will be transferred, right? And again sent to the rooms or wards, depending upon the case. But during the labor service, if emergency happens, the patient has to be transferred to the operation theater. So again, the patient will be brought here, and the patient will be transferred to the corridor, and then respect to operation theater. So that connectivity also has to be there, and this zone will not come in contact with this zone because this is a very highly sterile zone. This is a semi-sterile zone. Sometimes the gynec surgeries happen. They will happen in the gynec OT. And if the patient is have some septic cases, then the patient will be transferred to the septic OT. This OT is also separate from the main operation theater complex. And once everything happens smoothly, then patient will be transferred to the respective room, ward, or ICU, whatever. So this is the general circulation pattern and the department coordination in operation theater complex. The instruments which are brought from this corridor, they will be transferred to the CSSD. यहाँ पे 4 areas रहेगा CSSD में. First is washing, that is dirty area, then cleaning, then make them sterile, that is through the autoclaves, different autoclaves, and from autoclave they'll be transferred to the sterile store. The sterile store is very clean area where all the instruments are sorted out, and they will be packed for the next surgeries, and they will be transferred either to the operation theaters or to the ICU or to the various areas. So this is how the circulation is. So from CSSD, once the instruments are sterile, the linen is clean, linen is sterile, then from there it will be transferred to various areas. Sometimes the rooms also required, sometimes the ICU, operation theater, and so this is how it will be transferred. ऑपरेशन थिएटर में ऑपरेशन होने के बाद the patient, it is better to transfer the patient directly to the ICU. Many times what happens, the patient will be brought outside, then relatives will gather and they will disturb the patient, उनको देखना रहता है, but that is a not good practice. It is better to have separate access from the operation theater itself to the ICU, so that once the patient is transferred to the ICU, then only the hospital will allow the relatives to go and see the patient. So, but generally that is a not good idea. But here, I mean, that is essential. So this is how it works. Yes. So this is all about the general circulation pattern. Then what I will do, I will
Hello, Milind, you've been she has a, you can speak now. I think you will have to share the screen again. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, you will have to share the screen again, Milind, because...
Yeah.
Unmute केलंय.
But you can hear.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
you
hear
can hear
you.
me, right?
We can hear you.
हा जरा मध्ये कट आवाज मला झाला नाही ना तर पुन्हा तरी मला सांगायला सांग. Otherwise I will continue like speaking.
Okay. ठीक है. Okay.
So this is the hospital which we did in Goa. This is the site plan. The site is of 3 acres. 3 acres, and the hospital is planned here, and the drop from one end to the other end is around 20 meters. But we design in such a way so that it will fit in that area properly without disturbing the topography of the site. So here, from here you enter. This is arrival lobby. This is the main arrival lobby. You can see you can see the porch here, and the normal patients, the relatives, they will come from here. Then this is emergency entry. The ambulance will come like this. The emergency patient will be transferred to the casualty department. Yeah, and there is one more entry which is like here. Go down and come to this level. This is the IPD department. This is inpatient department. So sometimes what happens, there are many relatives, they come here to visit the patient, and unnecessarily they disturb the whole hospital area, whole hospital premises. So to avoid that, we have given a separate entry to the IPD department, and here they will come. It has a separate lift and a ramp and staircase. So they will not enter to the main part of the hospital, where they will come here and they will either go to the room or go to the wards. Right. So this is how, and this is all the circulation road for the fire brigade to move like this. And this entry is for engineering department, like services, electrical room, then air conditioning plants, all those things they will come here. So the attendant and the servicemen come directly from here. Since the site is very controlled, it was very difficult to take roads in between. So sometimes the road moves through the building like this, and because certain areas they need vehicular accessibility. So this is how it works. So this is the site plan, and then I will show you the since the site contours are at a higher level. So in this hospital we arrive at the top level. We arrive at a second floor level, and then we go down. Not like we arrive at the ground floor and then we go up. But for this particular case, we arrive on the second floor level and then go down. So in site plan, I have shown you the arrival lobby entry. So this is the porch. Vehicle will come here. Patient will be dropped. Relative will be dropped, and this is arrival lobby. In arrival lobby, you can see the registration and the may I help you for the information. Everything happens here. There are some sitting areas also, and once the registration happens, this is OPD complex. This all area is OPD outpatient department, and the patient and the relatives, they will come like this, and they will enter to this department. Generally, this department is open during daytime. So it has to have some doors, because after evening working hours, the door will be closed and again the department will be closed. Otherwise, what will happen? The relatives and the other people, they start roaming here and there, and they will disturb the activities. So once the patient arrives here, there are different cabins you can see here all around. different doctors, they will sit in the cabin, and if you see one cabin in detail, it there's a door here. The patient will enter from here. He will sit here. There's a consulting table. The doctor will sit here, and there's a stool also where the patient will sit and doctor will examine. Generally, on right hand side, the patient will sit. Then examination will happen here. There's a curtain which will divide, which will separate, which will give the privacy to the patient during examination. And once the patient is examined, the doctor will come out and wash the hands and will sit. So this is a general OPD cabin layout. So you can see there are different areas. But for a dentistry, there are different cabins like this. There are 3 dental chairs here. So the doctor will sit here, and these are the dental, chairs. Again, the OPDs, all the OPDs here, and there is a counter here, and that nurse and the attendant will guide the patient. Okay, go to that number room. This is all, but in between they will wait here. All the patients will wait here. Sometimes what happens, health checkup एक facility रहता है, sometimes I think hospital they have schemes like you scan your body and check what are the, if anything is like it's a precaution kind of thing. तो उनका पूरा एक डे का पैकेज रहता है, वहाँ पे जब पूरा डॉक्टर एग्जामिन करके उनका उसका सब चेकअप वगैरह करता है, लाइक स्ट्रेस टेस्ट रहेगा, हार्ट रिलेटेड कुछ एक्सरसाइजेस और कुछ डायग्नोस करना है, तो वो सब यहाँ पे रहेगा. बट दे विल वेट हियर फॉर सम टाइम, सो दैट्स व्हाई the sitting facility here with TV and this kind of lounge. We'll go to the arrival lobby here. Right. In arrival lobby, you can see the pharmacy here. Pharmacy which opens into this area and into this area. So this area is casualty department. So once the patient who requires some emergency services will be brought here, will be transferred here from the ramp and immediately brought to the triage area, which I explained to you before. So यहाँ पे पूरा patient को पहले stabilize करने का कोशिश किया जाएगा, and there are all the equipments and all the facilities are there, which will help to save the patient's life. So once the patient will be stabilized, then patient will be transferred to the observation area, and he'll rest there for some time, and again will be transferred to various areas. So this is a nursing counter. There will be 24-hour doctor service. The doctor will come here. Sometimes he sleep here, and which will have a toilet facility. This casualty department is also requires medicines. So pharmacy is here. So from pharmacy they can purchase medicines. This is a small office. It's a kind of reception and small office here for the casualty department. So once the patient from OPD and from the casualty, they required to be X-rayed or required to be scanned, the patient will be transferred from this casualty department to this department, which is radiodiagnostic department here. This department. So you can see the connection from the casualty to the radiodiagnostic department and from the OPD to the radiodiagnostic department. So this is how this should be. So in radiodiagnostic department, you can see there's a counter here. The patient will come here. They will show the जो भी चिट्ठी वगैरह prescription रहेगा यहाँ पे आएगा. Then the lady will ask the patient to wait for some time, and then it will be either transferred to the MRI or the CT scan or the X-ray or the mammography or the DEXA scan. और ये भी यहाँ पे lab blood collection रहेगा. Lab is at different level. This is only collection. Collection will happen here, and this collection path lab also should have some toilet facility. So there they can collect the urine samples and transfer to the lab. There's a sonography 1, sonography 2. They also need the toilet facilities. So this is how it is. So this whole department is radiodiagnostic department. If you see for the CT and MRI, there's a common console room. The attendant will sit here because since this is a radiology area, attendant will sit here and they will operate the equipments from here. So there's a glass here, there's a window here. From the attendant will see the equipment's movement and accordingly give the controls. For the MRI, they need a separate room for keeping the equipment because this is a very high-end equipment and requires air conditioning. As soon as you unpack the equipment, it needs to be kept in air conditioned area. So यहाँ पे पूरा उसका equipments रहेगा, उसका chiller और helium वगैरह गैस रहता है, वो सब यहाँ पे रहेगा. So this is how the diagnostic department, and you can see the health checkup also is connected with the diagnostic department here. And this is IPD department which I explained you, and these are rooms. So room का pattern कैसा रहेगा? We generally did pattern room design like this because the toilet will be at the entry level, and then so that the patient bed is arranged in such a way so that patient can see the outside, see the green area which is outside, and this is the attendant bed and some closet to keep his clothes and some kind of counter like वो टिफिन वगैरह है या कुछ मेडिसिन वगैरह रखना, वो सब यहाँ पे हो सकता है. And please always remember wherever the patient is staying, that facility, that toilet, that washroom needs to have the door to open outside. Right? Then all those doors should open outside where the patient is staying, because sometimes what happens if the door is opening inside and patient अंदर जाएगा, कुछ गिर वगैरह जाएगा या तो कुछ फेंट हो जाएगा, तो it is very difficult to for him or to take out the patient. It's very difficult. So यहाँ पे क्या रहेगा, generally this door will have a glass, that glass will be उसको तोड़ दिया जाएगा और अंदर से उसका नॉच ये उसका जो ड्रॉप है वो खोल के then patient can be taken outside. So this is how it is. You can see the ramp here. Ramp. There are 3 service courses: staircase, lift, or the electrical shafts. Then these are the chutes. These are the chutes. This is the fire shaft. This is the air conditioning. Right? So this is one service zone. There is another service zone here. You can see here service. This is the again electrical room, lift, and the staircase. And there is another here. Here, staircase, service shaft, and all common washrooms. Gents toilet, ladies toilet, and a handicap toilet also is required here. So this is the arrival level. Then we go one level down. This area is operation theatre complex and ICU. So I will explain you how it works. The patient will be brought by this lift here, and then here he will be transferred like this, and will be taken into this preoperative area. This is preoperative. You can see the toilet, washroom here, and see the beds. There's a small OT office also here. This OT matron, they will plan the operations. ये दिन में कौन से ऑपरेशन रहेंगे, कितने ऑपरेशन है, टाइमिंग्स क्या रहेगा, उसके लिए क्या इक्विपमेंट्स रहेगा, इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स लगेंगे, तो पूरा वो सब या कौन डॉक्टर रहेगा, कौन एनेस्थेटिस्ट रहेगा, उसको सब कोऑर्डिनेट करना है। यहाँ पे सब ये जो ऑफिस रहेगा वो सब करेगा। तो यहाँ पे पेशेंट स्टेबलाइज होने के बाद पेशेंट विल बी ट्रांसफर्ड टू दिस स्टेराइल कॉरिडोर which I explained you before. So this is all sterile corridor. Right. This is the patient's movement. Then how the staff will come? The staff will come like this. This is doctor's change with washroom. Doctor will change and will enter to the sterile corridor. Then female doctor, male doctor, and again staff change from here. Change with toilet facility. Yeah. So during operation, if some emergency happens or operation कुछ अच्छा हुआ या तो कुछ complications आ रहे हैं, तो वो सब explain करने के लिए ना कि यहाँ पे counseling room रहता है. So the doctor will enter from here to this counseling room, and relatives will be called from the lounge, or they are waiting here. They will be called inside and they will be explained the case की ये कुछ चीजें ऐसा है complication या तो ऑपरेशन अच्छा हुआ है, वो सब यहाँ पे सब एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. Okay, so these are the operation theaters. You can see there are 5-6 operation theaters. This operation theater is a quite big area. You can see there is a 6 meter by almost 10 meter diameter, and this is another. But you can see it is opening into single lobby. This is a transplant surgery. All the transplant surgery, organ transplant surgeries will happen here. तो यहाँ पे डोनर रहेगा, अगर किडनी ट्रांसप्लांट करना है तो यहाँ पे डोनर रहेगा, यहाँ पे रिसीवर रहेगा, पेशेंट रहेगा. देन इसका जो भी है ट्रीटमेंट करके किडनी ऑपरेट करके निकाल के फिर ये पेशेंट को यहाँ पे ट्रांसप्लांट कर सकते हैं. सो ऑल दोस ट्रांसप्लांट सर्जरीज विल हैपन, लाइक हार्ट ट्रांसप्लांट, kidney transplant, liver transplant. So all those things can happen. Then there are other operation theaters. You can see the scrub. So the doctor will come here, they will wash their hands, and they will go to the respective operation theaters. And this is another operation theater. So total 5 operation theaters here. पेशेंट का पूरा रिपोर्ट वगैरह भी बनाना पड़ता है, तो ये जो स्टाफ जो यहाँ पे रहेगा वो पूरा उसका रिपोर्ट बनेगा, ऑपरेशन का हिस्ट्री और क्या किया, कौन से ट्रीटमेंट दिए, कौन से मेडिसिन दिए, क्या ट्रीटमेंट किया, क्या ऑपरेट किया, वो सब यहाँ पे उसका रिपोर्ट बनाना पड़ेगा, वो यहाँ पे हो जाएगा. So once operation होने के बाद patient will be transferred to the recovery, either to the recovery or to the HDU, high dependency unit, HDU. And once यहाँ पे stabilize होने के बाद patient will be transferred to the ICU. So this is the ICU. तो बाहर लोगों को समझ ही नहीं आएगा कि ऑपरेशन हुआ कब और पेशेंट को ट्रांसफर कब ICU में किया, तो ये यहाँ पे ICU में ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा. मैंने आपको बोला था कि ये डॉक्टर्स का जो मेन सर्जन्स रहेगा उनका रोल बहुत कम रहता है इन एक्चुअल ऑपरेशन, तो दे विल कम हियर एंड रेस्ट हियर, समटाइम्स दे विल स्लीप हियर आल्सो, दे विल रेस्ट हियर, एंड यू कैन सी द वॉशरूम फैसिलिटी. And this is the entry corridor, service corridor. So you can see here, this is pass box window. पास बॉक्स यहाँ पे दो डोर्स रहेंगे, यहाँ पे डोर रहेगा, यहाँ पे डोर रहेगा. तो और जो भी ऑपरेशन से जो बाहर निकालना है वो यहाँ से इधर पार निकलेगा. The attendant will take care of all this material. These are the edge shoes. The blue color which is here, these are the edge shoes. Like this. This is a linen shaft. So जो dirty linen है यहाँ पे, यहाँ से पूरा यहाँ शाफ्ट से नीचे डालेंगे, तो जहाँ नीचे इसके लॉन्ड्री है सीधा लॉन्ड्री में जाके गिर जाएगा वो. This is a space for you, and the attendant will come from here. So this is the operation. This is about the operation theaters. Now I will explain you about the labor department. The female patients will be transferred here again to this pre-labor area. प्री लेबर एरिया, यहाँ पे वॉशरूम दिख रहा है, यहाँ पे 2 बेड्स है प्री लेबर. दिस इज लेबर रूम. दिस इज OBGY OT, obstetrics and gynecology OT. This is OBGY OT. And this is also kind of septic OT. तो यहाँ पे भी कुछ अगर complications हो जाए तो patient will be transferred like this to the next sterile corridor to the operation theater. And you can see here cath lab also. Cath lab is required for angiography, angioplasty. तो वो भी semi sterile zone में रहता है. It is not in the sterile zone. It is semi sterile zone. So you can see the access from the semi sterile area like this. Preparation room and the cath lab with equipment room. And again equipment room for the cath lab. तो यहाँ पे भी अगर कुछ इमरजेंसी क्रिएट हो जाएगी for the patient, then patient will be transferred to the OT again. So this is how it works. So for the ICU, there are three types of ICU: medical, cardiac, and surgical. Because all these ICUs, they require different segregation. So that's why we have segregated like this. So generally, the patient will be brought after operation theater to the surgical ICU here, to the surgical ICU. And cardiac ICU also have different demands. So that's why there are these 4 cardiac ICU beds with separate anesthesia, separate store. All the ICU patients, they will have a common toilet facility. You can see dirty utility and toilet facility. Once the patient will brought here, the relatives will come from this area. They will change here. You can see the cutoff lobby. They will change here and they will go to the ICU and meet the patient. Here you can say ICU staff change. You can see the cubicle where they will change. They can use the washroom and they will go to the ICU. You can see here negative pressure, positive pressure, because certain patient demands, the contamination should not transfer from them to other patients, or sometimes from other patients to them. So that's why the air conditioning pressure is maintained here. This is under negative pressure. So from here, his contamination will not go to the other area, because since the cubicle is under negative pressure. Likewise positive also. This is one positive. This is feature ICU. So again, it is connected with this club, and all the public movement, relative movement will happen from this area, and the patient movement will happen like this. Since this is a multi super specialty hospital, so here the NICU department is also there, NICU and PICU. NICU is neonatal intensive care unit, premature babies, for the premature babies. So यहाँ पे जब delivery हो जाएगा, अगर baby premature and it needs special treatment, the baby will be brought here like this here from this corridor. This is our standard corridor, and will be brought here. This is NICU. So you can see low intensive, high intensive. Again, the doctor's room, doctor's changing room, pantry feeding room. Because the babies are very weak, they need to be milk fed by the mothers. So there's a separate feeding room. This is a store which is required, and this is isolation. So generally, अगर इनके यही hospital के अगर babies है, तो babies will be transferred here. But if some other baby from the other hospital is coming, the baby will be transferred here, because it will be kept in isolation. Then again, you can see here there are different areas. Then again, toilet blocks, and this is PICU, pediatric ICU, pediatric intensive care unit. Everybody, you can see the cutoff lobbies here also, and but the staff can move from one department to other, but not the relatives. So again, low intensive, high intensive, surgical, isolation, all those things happen here. Relatives will come here to see their babies like this. So for them, we have created some rooms also for the mothers to stay. Sometimes because babies are inside, the kids are inside, the mothers will also stay, the parents will also stay here. And for the female patients, there is a ward, surgical ward, pediatric ward, gynec ward, and small casualty only for the PSI. So this is how all connected. So this circulation and segregation is very important. This is about OT complex. Then we go one level down. Since the site is controlled, so you can see the road which I explained you inside and here. And for the ground floor, this is all IPD department, all rooms. Since it is a Goa, there is a demand for the rooms than the ward. So wards are very less. So all these are rooms. I have already explained you the room. You can see the nursing counter. Every wing has nursing counter. They have store. There is one attendant, and these are the rooms. This is what common toilets. This is administrative office of the hospital. Administrative office and conference room, seminar room. This is all administrative office. And I showed you pharmacy at the second floor. And this is the store for the pharmacy. All the medicines and the requirements, equipments will be stored here, and यहाँ पे हमने छोटा पुली किया था, छोटा लिफ्ट भी है, so the what the requirement है, it will be taken.
Hello, sir.